Good morning. I thought it was earlier than it was, or is. It's like 10 o'clock. I got up, I think, at 6:30, between 6:30 and 7, and lit Ladybird out for a little bit on the cable, fed the cat, and then laid there for a minute, got Ladybird back in, and guess I was able to drift back off for a little bit. So, but I had my tablet off and charging. It's up to 100% now. So I'm kind of getting the situation figured out. But going to do today's reading from Daily Meditations, Living a Life Awareness by Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. And Daily Meditations on Toltec Path. You can look at me. You can tell I'd been laying in there and half asleep, half awake, and then I drifted off, but then waking back up, having to use the bathroom or something. So I was laying there not knowing what time it was, because the only way I have time, some way to tell time, is this tablet. So I had to come in here. It was at 100%. So I said, let's turn it on. Let's get this done. Yeah, I'm feeling a little rough still. I took some... is a Dollar General equivalent to Theraflu. Took some of that last night along with my melatonin and one trazodone. Slept pretty hard. Oh! But I'm very grateful just to be here. So let's get this going. And I haven't pre-read this one, but it looks pretty decent. They all are, aren't they? Aren't they? Or else I wouldn't be sharing it. Narrators and conditional love. Without awareness, our narrators can play a major role in our romantic relationships by placing conditions and expectations on our partner's behavior. This occurs every time you hear statements in your head such as, my partner should be doing this. Our love is supposed to be this way. My partner must change this for me to be happy. All of these statements exemplify love with conditions. Our narrators are the source of these kinds of statements, as they continuously promulgate the beliefs and ideas we have agreed with throughout life about how relationships should be. I need to look that word up so I have context there myself. Promulgate. I'm going to look that up after I get done with the video, because anyway. So practice. Let's get the practice down. Let's see what the practice is. When we judge our beloved through the eyes of the narrators, we miss out on the beautiful person he or she is in the present moment. We get lost in our attachment to what our partner should or should not be, rather than loving them unconditionally. With awareness, accept the people closest to you exactly as they are. When the narrators speak up with criticism or conditions, simply smile and say to yourself, no, thank you. I no longer agree with your position. Commit to showing those closest to you how much you really love them by treating them kindly, no matter what the narrators may say. No matter what the narrators may say. Those voices in our heads that are constantly chattering an opinion about somebody all the time, this or that and this and that. I will say this, though. He speaks often, even in the Four Agreements, the Fifth Agreement, this book, about loving people just the way they are. And I think that's a good thing. But that being said, it also made me think just now as I was reading that about I can love people as they are, but if the way they are, as they are, is detrimental to my mental health or anything else, because if it's stressing me mentally to be around them, to love them, to do whatever I'm trying to do and be there for them, then sometimes, the old expression, you have to love some people from a distance. I know it doesn't say that, but I think that accepting people as they are, sometimes that's part of the trick. If we've spent a lot of time around them, we've tried to be supportive of them, and they're still like, you love them, but sometimes where they're at is not necessarily good for you. So you have to still have that unconditional love, but because you have unconditional love, sometimes you have to keep the distance. You have to break away and say, okay, I still love you. And hopefully, when you get a better understanding of what's going on in your life or whatever, I'll be here. And I've had plenty of people do that to me in my life. If it wasn't for some of those people in my life, I wouldn't have ever understood. I wouldn't have learned certain lessons by making certain mistakes, because often I was very hard-headed and thought I knew everything, or that I knew what was best for myself, when actually many times I was doing things that were very detrimental to myself. And people just didn't like seeing me go down that hole, like burning the candle at both ends, if we can use cliches there. And at the moments of that, people distancing themselves from me in my past, it hurt. I was angry. But I learned later, those people just loved me and didn't want to be around me when I was spiraling downward. For instance, my dear friend, that last week said, "Man, I'm just." He was so happy that I'm still around and alive. But like I said, I wouldn't fault anybody for thinking that by now I wouldn't be here, because the way I lived hard. Didn't have to. I just chose to live as hard as I could, putting anything in my body and everything that would alter my state of consciousness. And sometimes certain things you can use to alter your consciousness and seek a better understanding of yourself. But then some things you can be using, and all it's doing is dulling you down, killing you slowly. So I'm still on a journey of eliminating certain things. I'm struggling with sugar still. Don't intake a lot of sugar very often, but when I do, I always notice what is different or what is bad. Like, if I eat something with sugar in it and gorge out one day, I can guarantee you the next day I don't feel very well. And that being said, you'd think, well, why do you keep doing that consistently? Like, why do you get a whole weekend without using any candy or sugar stuff when you know it's bad and you shouldn't be doing it? And then all of a sudden you find yourself at the dollar store, Gray Cloud, and you buy a couple of bags of candy and you go home and eat it. Knowing good and well. Well, that's kind of like, why was I just drinking every single day, all day long as I could, as long as I had the money, knowing it wasn't getting me anywhere? So it's almost like you give up one thing and then you have to struggle with another. But hey, it's practice. Like, always do your best. And my best is going to be different at different moments. But I'm giving it my best, and I appreciate everybody. I hope y'all have a great day. Blessings to all of you, man. You're awesome. We're approaching 300 quickly, 300 subscribers very quickly. And I still haven't narrowed down what I'm going to try to give away for this coming month. But we will get the details worked out, and I will be sharing that within the next week, hopefully, because I may be getting my payday on Friday. It's not a guarantee, but if it comes, I'm going to be taking care of actual things I need to take care of first, and I'm still trying to think, what can I possibly, I don't know yet. But anyway, let's get off here. We're almost over. We're over 10 minutes. Until next time, Mr. Cloud, Sage of the Eternal Moment. Over and out. Ditto.